Welcome back to the States. Now it's time for America's Talking. With headlines from across the country, you can find in the description below or in your inbox with the Center Square newsletter, free at thecentersquare.com. California Attorney General Rob Bonta and a coalition of 14 other Democratic state attorneys general secured a temporary court order blocking the U.S. Department of Education from terminating 2 federal school mental health grant programs. The Center Square education reporter Esther Wickham reports the U.S. District Court for the Western District of Washington granted the coalition's request for a temporary restraining order, preventing the Education Department from ending funding for the school-based Mental Health Services Grant Program and the Mental Health Service Professional Demonstration Grant Program. The order remains in effect through August 24th, while the court considers the coalition's request for a preliminary injunction, the typical next step after a temporary restraining order. Now, the grant programs provide counselors, psychologists, social workers, and other mental health professionals within schools, especially in lower-income communities. Georgia State Representative Sharon Henderson pleaded guilty yesterday to making false statements to obtain funds administered by the U.S. Department of Labor, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Northern District of Georgia. The Center Square Associate Editor Kim Jarrett reports prosecutors say Covington Democrats lied on federal documents to collect $17,811 in unemployment benefits during the pandemic. Henderson first filed for federal pandemic unemployment benefits in June 2020 while she was campaigning for her House seat, and said on the application she was employed by Henry County Schools. Henderson will be sentenced November 3rd, which is, ironically, Election Day. Lawmakers are asking questions about the California Department of Motor Vehicles failing to properly identify 11,000 people who allegedly cheated on the driver's license knowledge tests. Thousands of licensed California drivers got notices from the DMV in recent weeks informing them that because of the testing irregularities, that they would have to come back to the DMV office to retake their written test. California State Senator Tony Strickland told the Center Square in an email he appreciates the DMV's commitment to protecting the integrity of the testing process, but they have serious questions and concerns over the allegations that warranted the scrutiny. Strickland also wrote that he wants the state's residents to have clear answers about that issue. And New York local governments collected $12.7 billion from state taxes during the first 6 months of the year, a 6.8% hike from a year ago, according to a new report from the state's fiscal watchdog. The Center Square contributor Chris Wade reports issued Friday that the report states that municipal government sales tax collections totaled $12.7 billion in the first half of 2026, an increase of $803 million compared to the same time period last year. Now, that 6.8% rise in collections was stronger than year-over-year growth of the same time period in 2025, or 3.7%, according to the report, and 3 times higher than the rate 2 years ago. Now, the report also said while the state's sales tax collections grew during the 2 quarters, the upward momentum might not last much longer. The report says this growth is due in part to higher prices for goods and services as a result of higher tariffs and global conflicts. The report goes on to say local officials should be cautious to estimating future revenue amid the current economic uncertainties and, as the report says, harmful federal policies. And that's just some of what America is talking about. Get these and other headlines at thecentersquare.com. From my studios in Central Illinois, happy Friday. I'm Greg Bishop, and join us back here next week for more stories impacting you, the taxpayer, from all across the country. Only right here with the States, powered by the Center Square.